Welcome to my channel. Try to hear the latest story.
I discovered a shattering truth about my fiancée through a single careless message she sent in a group chat. She wrote, "I'll agree for now, but we all know I'll walk away from him eventually." She didn't realize I was part of the chat. My response was simple and cutting. Make eventually now. I forwarded the entire conversation to her parents, who were funding our lavish wedding. It's strange how life unfolds. One moment, you're meticulously crafting a future, brick by brick, only to find the foundation crumbling because of one misplaced text. This revelation hit me on a Tuesday evening, just a month before our wedding, in a group chat named Bride Squad. Let me paint the picture. I own a company that designs and installs high-end home automation and entertainment systems. I value precision, seamless functionality, and things that work as intended. My fiancée, Emily, was meant to be the final piece in the puzzle of my life. Her parents, Robert and Susan, were covering the cost of our extravagant, six-figure wedding. They were affluent, traditional people who viewed this wedding as a grand societal event, a crowning moment for their daughter's charmed life. I respected Robert and Susan. They were kind, welcoming people who embraced me as family. They admired my business, appreciating that I'd built something from the ground up. But they also subtly reminded me they were financing the entire wedding, a gesture that came with unspoken expectations. Their only daughter was getting married, and they wanted it to be a spectacle. Emily reveled in the attention. She thrived on dress fittings, venue tours, and endless planning sessions. She was in her element as the star of the show. I was content to let her shine. I was marrying her, not the wedding. But then there was the group chat. Months earlier, Emily's maid of honor, a woman named Claire whom I never liked, created a chat for the bridesmaids to organize the bachelorette party and other events. By some fluke, when Claire added the bridesmaids, she misdialed a number. Instead of including one of the bridesmaids, she accidentally added me. My number was one digit off from another girl's. It was a rare mistake. For months, I was an unnoticed presence in their chat. My phone buzzed with notifications, but I kept the group muted. I had no interest in their talk of dresses or petty drama. I planned to exit the chat after the wedding. But that Tuesday night, a single notification appeared on my locked screen, chilling me to the core. It was from Emily. He suggested this absurdly pricey honeymoon. I'll say yes for now, but we all know I'll leave him eventually. I stared at the words, my mind struggling to process them. Was it a dark joke? Some kind of twisted bridal humor I wasn't meant to see? I unlocked my phone and opened the chat for the first time. My heart thudded as I scrolled up, uncovering a hidden side of Emily I'd never known. The messages stretched back months. Are you sure about this? You could still back out. Cancel this wedding? No way. My parents would lose it. Besides, it's not permanent. It's just temporary. Another bridesmaid, Sophie, chimed in. But you don't love him. Emily's reply, love is a big word. He's dependable, steady, a safe bet. It's a solid starter marriage. I'll stick it out for a bit. Let him clear my debts, then move on to someone more thrilling. Another message about the house I plan to buy post-wedding. Perfect. A divorce settlement will make a great down payment for my own place. I scrolled through countless messages, each one revealing a calculated scheme to exploit me. Emily was marrying me for the wedding, the financial security, and the eventual payout from a divorce. She mocked my devotion, my plans, my love, while her friends egged her on. She was a predator, and her friends were complicit. I didn't feel rage, just a cold, clinical clarity, like a doctor diagnosing a terminal illness. The only solution was to remove the poison entirely. I returned to her latest message about the honeymoon, her friends responding with laughter and encouragement. My fingers typed a single reply, my only contribution to the bride squad. Make eventually now. Then I took a screenshot of the entire thread, a damning chronicle of her deceit, and emailed it to Robert and Susan, the ones bankrolling the sham. The subject line read, plans have changed. I hit send and began packing. Update 1. The silence after sending that message was deafening, like the calm before a storm. For 5 minutes, nothing happened. The chat was still. My phone was quiet. Then the chaos erupted. Claire, the maid of honor, was the first to respond. Who is this? Is this a prank? Another bridesmaid. Wait, is that his number? How's he in here? Then Emily, in a panic. James, what's going on? How did you see this? You're not in this group. It's a misunderstanding. We were just messing around. Call me now. My phone rang. It was her. I ignored it, letting it go to voicemail. It rang again and again. Then a new notification. A one-word email from Robert. Unacceptable. Moments later, he called. I answered. His voice was taut, like a string about to snap. I'm looking at your email, James, he said. Tell me this isn't true. It's true, I replied calmly. I was accidentally added to their chat months ago. I only saw it tonight. That's just a fraction of it. There was a long pause. I heard Susan's voice in the background, anguished and faint. I'm coming over, Robert said and hung up. As I waited, I continued packing, not Emily's things but mine. Clothes, books, work gear. I was surgically removing myself from a toxic situation. Emily's calls kept coming, now paired with desperate texts. Please, love, talk to me. It's not what you think. I love you. My friends are awful, they were just joking. I didn't mean it. Her lies were flimsy, driven by fear of consequences, not remorse. Robert arrived 20 minutes later, looking like he'd aged a decade. He saw the boxes and shook his head. I've already called the wedding planner, he said heavily. It's all canceled. We'll lose deposits, but I don't care. I won't fund a lie. We sat in silence for a moment. I'm sorry, James, he said. I didn't know. We raised her better than this. I thought she was better, I replied. He said he'd called Emily and told her to meet at their house in an hour for a family discussion. He asked if I'd come, saying I deserved to confront her with them. I agreed. The drive to their house felt surreal. Emily's texts kept pouring in, each more frantic. She was now claiming Claire had taken her phone and sent the messages as a prank. When I arrived, the atmosphere was heavy. Emily sat on the couch, pale and tearful. Susan stood across the room, her face a mask of icy rage. Claire was there too, summoned to face her role in the betrayal. Emily jumped up when she saw me. James, thank God. Tell them it's a mistake. I ignored her and looked at Robert, who held a printed copy of the screenshots like evidence in a trial. Emily, he said, his voice cutting through the room. 2 questions. Did you write these? And do you love this man? Her eyes darted between us, trapped. It was just talk, she stammered. Just joking. That's not what I asked, Robert said, his voice low and dangerous. Did you write them? She broke, sobbing. Yes, she whispered. And do you love him? Silence. Her tears were her answer. Susan spoke, her voice trembling with fury. Get out, she said to Claire. Leave my house. Turning to Emily, pack a bag. You're no longer welcome here. You've shamed this family beyond belief. Update 2. The fallout wasn't a single explosion. It was a chain reaction, ripping through Emily's carefully constructed world. After Susan's ultimatum, Emily unraveled. She refused to leave, screaming that it was her home. Claire eventually dragged her out. The wedding was canceled, but Robert and Susan went further. The next day, they sent a candid email to every guest. With profound regret, we announced the cancellation of the wedding between our daughter, Emily, and James. This decision stems from an unforgivable betrayal by Emily. We deeply apologize for any inconvenience and extend our heartfelt apologies to James, a man who showed our family nothing but respect and deserved far better than the deception he endured. They didn't just cancel the event. They publicly condemned their daughter's actions and cleared my name. It was a bold act of principle over pride. The financial consequences were immediate. Robert and his legal team scrutinized every vendor contract, recovering some deposits but still facing significant losses. I was untouched financially, as I hadn't contributed to the wedding. The apartment, however, was trickier. It was leased in both our names, but I refused to stay in a place tainted by her lies. I moved my belongings to a new apartment across town the next day. Then, against my lawyer's advice, I did something that felt necessary. I returned to the apartment one last time. Emily was there, packing, her face a mix of tears and anger. She screamed, blaming me for destroying her life. I said nothing. I grabbed a can of black spray paint and marked a large X on every wall. On the living room wall, I wrote, "It's just temporary." Then I left. I called the landlord, explained the breakup, and said I wouldn't contest the loss of the security deposit due to the redecoration. I gave him Emily's contact info, making her the sole point of contact. She had to pay to repaint the apartment and cover the remaining lease alone, as I refused to contribute further. In the months that followed, Emily's life unraveled. Disowned by her parents, she moved in with Claire, but their friendship imploded within weeks, the wedding's cancellation exposing their mutual resentment. Emily, for the first time, had to work a real job. As a hostess at a restaurant, a stark fall from her privileged life. Her parents, while covering some expenses, had distanced themselves, their shame evident. Final update: it's been a year. I'm sitting in the living room of my new house, a beautiful property with a spacious yard and a workshop where I'm building custom furniture. A dream I've long held. My business is flourishing, and my life is calm, stable, and mine alone. I've stayed in touch with Robert and Susan, sharing occasional dinners. Their kindness is almost painful, as if they see me as the son they wish they'd had. A few months ago, Robert called. They were selling their large family home to downsize, the scandal having strained their social circle. He asked if I'd be interested in buying some furniture for my new house. I visited their home, now filled with boxes and echoes of the past. As Robert showed me a stunning antique desk, Susan mentioned Emily was there, packing up her childhood belongings. She asked if I'd see her briefly. Reluctantly, I agreed, moved by the desperation in Susan's eyes. I knocked on Emily's old bedroom door. She opened it, a shadow of the vibrant woman I'd nearly married. She was frail, her eyes hollow. "James," she whispered. We stood there, two strangers who'd once vowed eternity. "I'm sorry," she said softly, her words raw, free of manipulation for the first time. I nodded. "I know," I said. There was no dramatic showdown, no final speech, just a quiet recognition of the wreckage she'd created.